Hey everybody, it's Angie and welcome to Hot and Flashy. In today's video, I wanted to pay homage to, have a little funeral for, say goodbye to some of my makeup favorites, makeup loves that have either been discontinued or reformulated and just aren't the same, are no longer available, because we all know that reformulating is hardly ever a good thing. And it's happened recently with me with more products than I care to look at. I have them all right here in front of me. I could have made this video years ago because it just seems that it's my luck that the second I find a product that I love so much and then I recommend it to you guys is the second that I find out that it's been discontinued. And this has happened to me so many times over the course of my 8 years here on YouTube. Definitely could have done this before, but there is a holy grail product that I'm pretty sure is being discontinued that made me think like, oh yeah, I could do a whole video on all the products that have been discontinued that I was in love with and thought I couldn't live without. So the one that is the reason for this video is my Lancome Mackie Complete Concealer. This has been my holy grail concealer for a couple of years now. Before this, it was the Lancome Efficern, but as I've gotten older, I found that one to be a little bit drying, and this one is their hydrating formula, so I've really been loving this one the last couple of years. I'm not 100% sure if it's being discontinued, but it definitely has all the signs of being discontinued. You cannot find certain shades anywhere. It is still in stock in some stores in some shades, but when you go to the Lancome website, which is, you know, where you can tell whether it really is on life support or not, you can see that all the shades are sold out. There isn't any indication that they're coming back, and they're on closeout sale, which is always the thing that means that it's going away soon and will not be coming back. So it's hard to say what's going on with it. I hope it's not being discontinued. This has been like the best concealer for me because it gives great coverage. It's really smooth. It doesn't settle in my lines or wrinkles, and it doesn't make my under eyes look dry and cracked and cakey. Maybe we could start a letter writing campaign to Lancome and, you know, say, hey, don't discontinue our Mackie Complete. We love it. We want to keep it. But in the meantime, I have been trying other concealers. There are a couple that I actually do like. The one that I'm wearing today is the brand new Tarte Shape Tape Ultra Creamy Concealer. Now, I had tried the old Shape Tape and I really like that one. I think it came in third in one of my rounds of concealer testing, of course behind Mackie Complete, but I found it a little heavy and a little drying. So I've been trying this one for a few days now and I really like it. I have it on today. The coverage is so smooth and it doesn't look super dry at the end of the day, and it doesn't settle in my wrinkles. So far so good on this one. I'll have to play around with it a little bit more to let you know how that one is going. Another from Tarte is their Creaseless Concealer. This is a really good one. This is best for people who have really, really dry under eyes and who also have a lot of darkness under there. Like, you need a concealer that really has a ton of coverage. This is your gal because she is so highly pigmented. This is one of those ones that it's really emollient, so a little bit goes a long way. I like it best with powder, but depending on how dry your under eye skin is, you may or may not need to powder it. Then another one that I really like a lot is from L'Oreal. It's their Age Perfect Radiant Concealer, and this is also for people with drier skin but with less discolorations under their eyes. This is a super hydrating but sheer formula, so if you don't have a lot going on under there and you just need a little bit of color correcting, then this is going to be the one for you. So give any one of these three a try if you're out of your Lancome Mackie Complete and you're looking for something new. All right, this next one was a close call, but in the end it wasn't discontinued. It was just reformulated and it wasn't awful, but oh my gosh, did they have us going for a minute there. I thought that my holy grail foundation, the Chanel Perfection Lumiere Velvet, was being discontinued. It had disappeared from store shelves everywhere. People were writing in about it. People were freaking out, including me. I even went on and bought 3 of them because I thought, this is it. I'm never going to be able to get it again. Well, the good news about this one being discontinued is that it was reimagined just with a different name. So all they did was put it in a very similar bottle. The main difference is that this one has a matte cap and this one's glossy. Its new name is Ultra Le Tint Velvet. The formula is the same. The finish and the amount of coverage, and the wear is exactly the same. It doesn't settle in wrinkles, it doesn't settle in pores. It is still my holy grail foundation, so absolutely love Chanel Le Tint Velvet. So that's one that ended with a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, so that was good. All right, then another foundation that was discontinued a long time ago that was such a favorite of mine was the Becca Perfect Skin Mineral Powder Foundation. It was like my only holy grail powder foundation ever, and it was so beautiful. And even now when I go back and look at some of my videos and I think, oh my gosh, my skin just looks so good in that video, and I go to the info box to see what makeup I'm wearing, it's always the Becca powder. And I'm like, oh, why did they discontinue that? And that's been gone for years. But the big news today in 2021 is that Becca, the entire company, it's gone under. So if you had any favorite Becca products that you loved, try to scoop them up now if you can find them on sale. I believe there are still some in the stores, but this particular powder foundation has been gone for a long time. And I gotta say, this is a case where I've never found a powder foundation that I love as much as that one. I'd say the closest thing that I have to it that I put on now that I really like in a powder foundation is the L'Oreal Age Perfect Creamy Powder Foundation. I've been wearing this like on a day when I put on a really luminous tinted sunscreen and I need to kind of mattify the sunscreen and also add a little bit more coverage. I can't say that I love it as much as the Becca, but it's definitely probably my favorite powder foundation currently. All right, then another foundation that was definitely discontinued was the Cyo Lifeproof. That one, oh my gosh, it took me so long to try it, and then when I did, it just went right into the holy grails. It was so good. And I feel like 2 weeks after I finally tried it, they discontinued it. Well, then the good news about that one was that it got a second life as Boots Kick-Ass Foundation. I reviewed this as well and figured out that it was pretty much exactly the same as the CYO, but then this one was discontinued too. So now there is no version of this that you can get, unfortunately. This was a great foundation, really easy to put on. It didn't come in a lot of colors, but the colors that it came in, I guess, kind of filled the gap where a lot of foundations left people a little bit cold and out in the cold without having a match. So while there was never a match for me, other people just loved it because of that. I'd say the closest thing for me to the look and finish of this is going to be the L'Oreal True Match, and I heard recently that this has been reformulated. This has been a long time holy grail, and I don't know if that's true. I haven't seen anything else about it. Just someone wrote in this week and said, uh-oh, L'Oreal's reformulating True Match. Oh no. So give it a try. So I'm going to have to try the new True Match if there is a new True Match. All right, and then the last foundation love of mine is one that I'm, again, not 100% sure it's being discontinued, but it is the Stila Hide and Chic Foundation. Found this one a couple of years ago, and it, launched right up into Holy Grail. This one is for people who don't really like to wear makeup. This is so lightweight and so sheer, and it gives you just the perfect amount of light coverage that just evens out your skin tone, doesn't settle in wrinkles, doesn't settle in pores. It's got a nice, like, luminous, dewy, lit from within, youthful glow to it. It's really a pretty foundation. They have very limited shades of this left on Ulta, but they're on super sale for $10.92 if you can find your shade in it. And if you go to the Stila website, they're marked down to $19.50 there from $39. All the shades are available. So I'm not 100% sure what's going on with this because it has been marked down like that on the Stila website for a long time. Like, I feel like people started asking me about this last summer, and that's like 9 months ago that this has been going on with this. So I'm not 100% sure what's going on with this, but anyway, it could disappear, it might not, I don't know. It's so hard to tell what the companies are doing. All right, this next one is not a foundation, but it was like a tinted sunscreen that I loved. I found it in one of the Sephora sale hauls that I did like a couple of years ago. I don't have it anymore, but here's a picture of it. It is the Hello Fab Triple Protection Skin Tint. This was an all mineral SPF 30. It was like a tinted moisturizer with a really good mineral sunscreen in it. It was perfect for like a no makeup day. You just put it on, again, evens out your skin tone. You're not wearing makeup. It's just part of your sunscreen. The day that I put up the video saying that I loved it, it was gone. Disappeared off the planet, never to be seen again. I was like, what? because people were trying to buy it and everyone was like, I can't find this anywhere. Are you sure this really exists? I'm like, I just bought it. How can it be gone already? But you know, that's how my luck is. That was a First Aid Beauty product, and First Aid Beauty has just put out another tinted moisturizer sunscreen product that looks nice, but it's not an all mineral sunscreen. It's an all chemical sunscreen, which it has some of the ones in it that really irritate my skin, so I probably am not going to be trying that one. But the good news is that I did find a product that fit in that slot really well and that I like even better than that one, and that is this My Shell Sun Protection. It's the Sun Shield Liquid. This is an SPF 50 that is all zinc oxide. It's got 16.1% zinc oxide, and it's a lightweight tinted like moisturizer kind of thing. This one comes in 3 shades, a light, a medium, and a dark. This is the medium that I wear, and I just love this. This is so good on like a no makeup day. I love this because it kind of dries matte. It's not super shiny. You know, a lot of the sunscreens can be like really super shiny. The tint is really nice for me. It makes my skin look nice and smooth, and I just love this. So it's really super lightweight. If you're someone who has always hated the like heavy feeling of mineral sunscreen, or really any sunscreen, like greasy, and you like wipe your finger and you're like, ew, there's the sunscreen. This is not like that. You put it on, it dries and sets, and it is just so beautiful to wear. So definitely give that a try if you're looking for like a lightweight tinted sunscreen that comes in a couple of different shades. All right, let's move on to eyeshadow palettes. Oh my gosh, eyeshadow palettes are just like the things that it's such a crime when they get discontinued, because when you find a good one and you love it, it's just like, oh, it breaks your heart when they go. And that happened to me so recently, you guys. If you've been watching, you know about this one. The Dior 5 Colors palettes, while they haven't been discontinued, they have been reformulated, and all the colors have been changed and all the names have been changed. So the old palettes are no more. And this was one of my favorite ones. This was the 647 Undress palette, and it was just the perfect like neutral nude brown and tan palette. And the thing that made this palette so magical for me was this middle color right here. It was the perfect shade of just a light mid-tone matte color that you would put like in your crease and a little bit above, that would really disguise that hood, because you know, you don't want it to be too dark and smoky. You don't want to be really obvious about it. I was raving about this palette in a Faves and Fails a couple of weeks ago, and everybody wrote in who tried to buy it, and they were like, I hate to tell you, but those have all been reformulated. So I bought one of the new ones, and to my great disappointment, the new formula is not what it used to be. Like these eyeshadows are just the best eyeshadows on the planet. Creamy, blendable, no fallout ever, just so wonderful. And now Dior has replaced it with eyeshadows that are flaky and powdery and have a lot of fallout and have a lot of glitter, and they're super colorful. They're not nice and subtle. So, you know, like, I get it. They need to sell product. They need to make money. And what better way than to revamp the entire product line? But it's so disappointing because this one was just perfection. So I've been looking high and low for the colors in here. And I think I finally found something that is a reasonable replacement. I used it today. So for the matte shade, the closest thing that I have been able to find to that is a MAC single shadow, and this is in the shade Wedge. Yeah, it looks like Wedge is just a little bit darker, but it is in the same family of colors. And then I found pretty good matches for the other shades in this Maybelline The Nudes palette. So this is a really pretty palette. It's got a lot of shades in it, but the ones that I thought looked most like the Dior palette were this guy down here. Then there's a shimmer taupe in this corner that looks really a lot like the shimmer taupe in the Dior palette. So the top is the Dior, the bottom is the Maybelline, but I think they're pretty close. So you can get a very similar look to this by using this. Then another eyeshadow palette that was discontinued And that breaks my heart and really makes me so, so sad because I use these at least a few times a week. I reach for these constantly. They're from Milani. They are the Soft and Sultry and the Bold Obsessions palettes. Oh my God, these were like the best things to happen to drugstore eyeshadow in the last 10 years, I'd say. And they're discontinued. I really could weep over these. I really could, because they're both such perfect palettes. Like, I thought I would have hated Bold Obsessions, but it's just so beautiful. So here's Soft and Sultry. They are muted neutrals, which you know is my thing, and I love it. But I always have to have that mid-tone taupey matte to put in my crease. And of course, this one had it right here in the center. This is so gorgeous. And then you combine it with this beautiful shimmery dark medium gray, and then this like shimmery off-white, and oh my goodness, this was just such a perfect everyday palette. And then Bold Obsessions, my favorite shade in this palette was this matte lavender. This was the most beautiful color to put on, you know, the movable part of your eyelid, just to keep it nice and, you know, cool when you wanted to do like a cool look. And then it had this gorgeous, oh my gosh, this gorgeous like shimmery navy, and this super fantastic shimmery gray. Oh my gosh, just the shades in here were just fantastic. And then of course it had the perfect mid-tone color to put in your crease, and wah, they're all gone. Milani has released a bunch of new palettes. They're much bigger in format than these little guys. That's the other thing I liked about these, is they were relatively compact, easy to travel with. But in the meantime, not that it's going to be the same, but Milani does have these smaller palettes, and I've been using this one a lot lately and really loving it. This is one of their most wanted palettes, and this one is 110 Partner in Crime. And this is a gorgeous little palette for every day. It's nice and neutral, but it does lean a little pink, and I've been using this one a lot. I really love it. These are all mattes. They are so beautiful, so easy to work with. But this guy here in the Milani is another pretty good match for that Dior shade. It's a little bit grayer, but you know, something to look at. But that is a really great little palette. All right, now you guys know that I am very picky about my eyeliners. There's really only 3 brands that I'll wear: the Marc Jacobs Highliners, the Essence Extreme Waterproof not mascara eyeliner, and the Sephora Contour 12-hour waterproof liners. And they all come in great colors, but they've all had at least one of their great colors be discontinued. That broke my heart. And so in the case of the Essence, it was this guy here, which is called Rockin' Taupe. This has been a favorite for so long. I just love this. It is just the most beautiful, like mid-tone taupey kind of silvery color. But the Sephora contour liners makes a very similar color called Flirting Game that I love. Flirting Game is a little bit darker. What I loved about Rockin' Taupe is that it just had that nice silvery sheen to it. So here they are. This lighter one is Rockin' Taupe, and this one is Flirting Game, so you can see the difference there. But sadly, this is the one that's discontinued. This one's still available, but it just doesn't have that same brightness to it. It gives a little bit of a darker look. And then in the Marc Jacobs Highliners, there was a color in this that I loved called Think. That was a beautiful, like dark, purpley blue tone. I have gone ahead and gotten the Marc Jacobs in a dark navy. This one's called Overnight, I think, and it's beautiful, but I really loved Think the best, and that one's gone. But as a replacement for Think, I did find one in the Sephora contour liners that is very similar to that, and this one is called My Boyfriend's Jeans, and it's much more of like a bright purpley blue, which on my hand, you're going to be like, oh my God, who would wear eyeliner that color? Well, it doesn't really look that color when you have it on your lash line and then put mascara on and everything. It just looks so beautiful, and especially if you have blue eyes, it just makes blue eyes just, you know, sparkle. So that's a great one. And then the last thing I was going to mention was actually turned out to be a happy accident, because I thought this was discontinued for so long, and I just looked it up to like double check and found it for sale everywhere. So I think it was gone, and now it's back. This is from Rimmel. It's their Exaggerate lip liner. This is the shade East End Snob. This was the only lip liner I would wear for years and years and years and years and years, and I loved it, and I love the name of it, and I love how creamy it is, and I love how it holds my lipstick in place, and I love how it's never drying, and a mechanical pencil so I don't have to sharpen it. It's just, everything about it is super fantastic. It's a really pretty pink, and it just goes kind of with everything. Even though I am a brutal purger, I could never part with this. I loved it so much, and so I still had this, and I hadn't used this in like 2 years, and I just whipped it out and used it today. It's not dried out. It's not like a crumbling mess. It went on. It was so creamy. It was so nice to use, and I was like, yes, there's my love. Now I remember why I loved you so much, and it's back. It's at a great price point, so that is a wonderful product. And then the last things that I wanted to mention were a couple of brushes that were discontinued that really upset me, but one of them I just found out is back again, so I'm like, I'm failing at things being discontinued. So the good news is that some of them are actually still back, and just I didn't realize it. But anyway, it was from BH Cosmetics. It was this giant set of, I think it's like 12 brushes. I believe this is called the Crystal Quartz brush set. So it had face brushes and eyeshadow brushes, and you know how picky I am about the shapes and the softness and everything of my eyeshadow brushes, and these were really the things that came closest to being my high-end brushes, but at an affordable price. And this was the perfect brush set, and poof, I was maybe 2 weeks into talking about it and it disappeared off the planet. So I just went out looking for some old posts about it so that I can see what the name of it was, so I could just say it right, and guess what? I found it. It's back. It's not only on the BH website, but it's also on the Ulta website. On the BH site, it's 25% off right now. Hopefully it still will be when this video goes up. And so they're $21.75 for 12 awesome brushes. So I'm happy to say that while that one disappeared for a while, it seems to have come back. So wow, I'm actually less sad than I was at the beginning of this video when I thought that everything was gone and there was no hope on the horizon. Well, some of these things are actually back, and I'm so happy to see. So I linked those in the info box. I'll link the products where I found them on sale, like the closeout kind of thing. So if you're looking for the Stila, if you were interested in the brushes. So that's it for today's video, everybody. I hope you found it helpful and informative. If you did, go ahead and give it a like. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. As always, I thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate your watching. Have a great day, and I will see you in the next video. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.